I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being?
This video might catch some of you off guard, but what we're about to discuss is already making waves in the world of artificial intelligence. Deep fakes, those AI-created audiovisual imposters, have sneaked into our daily lives. And trust me, they're not going anywhere. There was this song, performed by a digital Drake look-alike, that managed to fool even seasoned music experts.
I came in with my ex like Celine or the flex, bumping Justin Bieber, the fever and left.
Now imagine a future just around the corner where creating a virtual version of any artist, crafting an entire song, or even filming a complete movie with all digital actors and scenery is easy, quick, and affordable. What will that mean for our beloved human artistry? Will there still be room for them in a world where the digital is becoming miraculously real? How are the major players like YouTube going to adjust to this digital sea change? More importantly, how can influencers keep their relevance in an era where deep fakes are growing increasingly convincing? Today, we're going to talk about 3 crucial strategies for content creators to stay competitive against artificial intelligence. So stick around. Artificial intelligence is striding ahead in graphic design and audiovisual content, poised to completely reimagine the way we create content. Entertainment videos, series, music, clips, even news broadcasts are about to get hit hard by this revolution. In the near future, we might not be able to tell apart a genuinely human creation from what has been entirely generated by technology. If you've caught the first episode of Black Mirror's 6th season on Netflix, you have a hint of what might be in store. Completely virtual representations of actors confuse audiences and seem to take on a life of their own. The line between real and digital gets blurred, and it's only at the end of the episode that we manage to separate reality from digital make-believe. The episode may be a bit dystopian or apocalyptic, but it leaves us wondering. Tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, DALL-E, and countless others to come are set to drive down the production costs of the creative industry. Anyone will have the technical capability to produce a song using the voices of famous singers, or maybe create a movie with familiar faces and spectacular backdrops without the need for physical productions. Because of all these, rumors are swirling that YouTube as we know it is coming to an end, or at least it's in for a massive makeover. The YouTube of the future might be a tangled web of virtual recreations of people and places that may not even exist in the physical world. But even with all the advancements of artificial intelligence, will human creation really become irrelevant? Despite the growing sophistication of AI tools, they still depend on the references created by humanity. For instance, the texts generated by ChatGPT are based on human-made information and documents like reports, guides, news articles, theses, and scientific research. Audio and video elements also directly or indirectly rely on real creations. The virtual Drake needs to sound and style just like the real Drake to gain relevance and audience appeal. Otherwise, it would be just an unknown creation. But without a doubt, deepfakes and upcoming audio-visual representations are set to ramp up the competition for followers and views as they can be produced at a breakneck speed. This is where one of the major transformations of YouTube videos begins: the battle of quantity versus quality. There are YouTubers who go all in on mass production, pumping out multiple videos throughout the month, all to keep that follower base buzzing. But rushing could be a trap, especially when you're up against AI, unreliable or generic data. Content that's sketchy or simply rehashed from other sources can put a dent in your video's engagement and reach. For YouTubers or content creators on other platforms, AI tools can hone their professional edge, but might offer more shallow solutions when it comes to mass production. On the other hand, when it's about quality, humans still have an edge in originality over deepfake videos or texts from ChatGPT. Take James Janney, for instance, a famed American YouTuber who's reeled in over 1.5 million followers on his channel. James can spend months digging deep, researching, and investigating to produce just one video that hooks his followers. And this brings us to the main point of our video today. The 3 elements that will help content creators stand out in the future are unique and original ideas, personal narratives, on-the-ground investigative content. As we mentioned before, it's not and won't be that simple for an AI tool to churn out original ideas or unique viewpoints to offer to the public. The same goes for personal narratives, which are rooted in lived experiences and are essentially human. No matter how advanced the algorithms, it'll be quite a challenge for a deepfake to mimic stories that haven't been shared online, or that require experience in the world beyond the machines. The investigative work of a reporter, which involves digging deep, conducting interviews, and traveling to remote locations, is also hard to replicate via machines. So, if you're a YouTuber or content creator and want to brace for what's coming, you should combine one or more of the elements we discussed earlier in our video to stay relevant in a world dominated by deep fakes, virtual representations, and mass content production. Will our unique human traits and life experience on planet Earth be our only ace against the machines? Only time will tell. If you want to see a list of jobs that are set to be completely transformed by AI, according to a study by OpenAI, click on this video here on the screen. If you enjoyed this content, leave a comment below, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you next time.